So we saw a headline earlier this week about YouTube creating this $100 million creator fund because they're going to start paying some of the top short creators. Not even creators, it was some of the top short videos, I believe they're going to reach out and pay them.
Yeah, I read I'll just read the excerpt real quick.
Yeah.
Each month, they'll reach out to thousands of creators whose shorts receive the most engagement and views to reward them for their contributions. So if you have a couple shorts go viral, expect an email going, would you like to get paid?
Yeah.
Out of the fund?
The thing is, we don't know how much they're going to pay them. This $100 million creator fund sounds great in a headline, but if they're reaching out to thousands of people a month, I don't know what kind of money it is. It's still nice money, and it's still them trying to attract people to shorts, but I feel like shorts in general are just kind of a really great way of explaining how like YouTube launches these new features, they fall flat, and then they're trying to find ways to get people to do them. And I think that because of that, it boils down to like, why are these not working, and why are people love YouTube? Like, people made their whole lives on YouTube. I literally have a job because you have, but like, why are these main creators not doing these other things?
I think I can speak to that.
Yeah.
So first of all, the creator funds that we keep seeing, it's like my favorite new trend of like, man, all
there's
right.
a TikTok one this week for TikTok stuff.
Exactly, same thing.
Yeah.
And it's because the platforms realize they not just want, but need creators on their platforms making stuff to make them work. That realization, great. Now, YouTube Shorts, so the hesitation by a lot of YouTubers to dive into Shorts is really interesting. I think a lot of the longer-term creators, like me, have a bit of an aversion to YouTube releasing new, untested, unproven features because they could possibly have adverse algorithmic effects.
Yep.
They could possibly get killed in 6 months, and you will have just poured a bunch of resources and pivoted your channel down a path that ends up being a dead-end road.
Yep.
So the other end of that is, if the feature works, I think there are a lot of younger creators or more nimble creators who will just jump right in and do a bunch of shorts or do a bunch of, what was the last thing, YouTube stories. I think that's might have been dead already.
I don't see anyone post stories anymore.
But they'll
once they premieres.
The thing is, they launch a feature like that and they have a whole plan behind it, backing it as if it's going to be the future of the platform. So when creators see that, they'll go, oh, okay, I see that stories is going to be a really big deal for YouTube for the foreseeable future. Let me pivot hard and make sure that's a big part of my content strategy. And then when it's dead in a year, you feel like you wasted a lot of time, resources, you might have hired for it. Like that's a big loss. Like that's a big risk to take. But if it does explode, and let's say Shorts is this huge future category on YouTube, a lot of younger creators who got in early and focused really hard on that are going to be really happy about it. So Shorts is clearly a response to TikTok. It's literally almost the same thing. Like you go in to hit Shorts on the YouTube app and it's this endless scrolling carousel of vertical videos.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you'd expect. The algorithm tries to learn you. But YouTube knows that it needs YouTube Shorts creators instead of just people uploading to TikTok and then copying that file and also putting it on Shorts, which is most of what's
that's
happening.
What they're doing. That's what they did on Reels. Like that's all Reels is.
It's literally like watermarked TikTok
videos.
Like
literally all of Reels has the TikTok watermark and the name on it. And people are probably just using Reels to find more people to go follow on TikTok.
And they literally show up in my Explore page. Like the ones that Instagram is suggesting to me on my Explore page have TikTok TikTok logos on them.
That's really funny. And if anyone was going to do a TikTok competitor, it would be Instagram. It just makes the more sense. The demographic that is on TikTok is very, very active on Instagram, and it's just that social media platform, that short form social media platform that it makes way more sense on.
Yeah.
And it's TikTok still blowing Reels out of the water.
Yeah. So YouTube, I mean, this is a smart move from YouTube, no doubt. Like they are the video home on the internet. And if you run YouTube and you see TikTok, another version of videos blowing up, of course you need to make a competitor for it to offer people an alternative, and possibly they'll come to YouTube later. The question is, how do you get those creators to come to YouTube? Okay, well, we have a creator fund. We're going to start making it easy to monetize. TikTok is also still not easy to monetize, and they're also doing a creator fund thing, which is smart. But I think generally at the end of the day, the creators looking to make a job out of it are thinking about ease of monetization first. discoverability right behind that. And YouTube is trying to lock both those things up. And they obviously have discoverability, but the TikTok algorithm is something special. Just surfaces things you want to see. It's really good. So they have that to compete against.
I do think, though, there's the aspect that we touched on really at the beginning of that. You touched on it really quickly. Is just like, you're talking about bringing new creators in. YouTube definitely also already houses some of the biggest creators in the world. And they definitely want those creators to use their new features, because if those creators use their new features, that's still bringing more people in. And I think that's where you talk about the unknowingness of the algorithm really starts making those big creators weary of jumping into some of these new features. We still don't use Premieres. They've been around for a long time, because from what we found...
Have I explained this?
I don't
know if we have.
We may have. It just might as well do a refresher.
Yeah. So premieres, what happens with a premiere is, if you think of like a movie or like, say, a TV show where it premieres on TV, everyone watches it at once. YouTube sees that on TV and goes, you know what? We're going to be the video home of the internet. We'll offer something like that. So you can make a whole YouTube video, upload it, and then set it to premiere so everyone watches it at the same time live. They can't fast forward. They're all watching it with you. And there's a live chat, and it's really cool, and they obviously thought a lot about it.
In theory, is amazing.
It's in theory a great idea. What I noticed, because I've sort of stepped back and watched a bunch of premieres happen and saw what was going on with them, the impressions seem to plummet because of the first few minutes of the video going live. Because when you think about it, when a video shows up in your sub box, a bunch of people all click on it at once, and they all watch it, and then they leave. When a video is premiering, a bunch of people all click on the premiere, and for those first 15 minutes, however long the video is, they all watch the premiere. Then when it's over, they leave. Then it shows up in the sub box, and I have no idea how they counted those live views. Typically, seems pretty low to me. So I haven't. We did a premiere with the blind smartphone camera test. Yeah. And I kind of observed the same thing, where like the first hour, it was 10 out of 10, like half the views of a normal video, and then it eventually caught up. But I see that, and I'm like, I'm not going to keep doing this.
Let me clarify there. You say 10 out of 10. If you don't know what we're talking about, that sounds amazing. We're saying the best hour or whatever, or the best impressions for the last 10 videos, it was ranked 10 out of 10. So the worst. It literally had the worst rating out of our last 10 videos.
Yeah, with like half the views of number 9. Yeah. So it was pretty bad. So yeah, I see that kind of thing, and I'm like, well, once they figure that out, I'll do premieres again, but it's not really ready for me to keep diving in and pushing videos through that. Same thing happens with like stories. They kind of did for a while, and now I'm pretty sure it's dead.
Yeah, I think it's still there, but no one uses it. But like, if we're talking about how something we like kind of understand with the algorithm, but don't totally, this podcast right now is a great example, because people might wonder why we made a podcast video channel and a podcast clips channel. And if you look at a lot of other podcasts, they do the same. Joe Rogan, H3, Lou Later, they all have separate ones. And the theory behind it is that if you have long form content and you have shorter clips, the overall watch time on the channel is going to be all over the place. Because if you have 30 minutes of watch time on the long one and 6 minutes of watch time on the short one, it gets confused and has a hard time like serving those videos. Yeah. So that's why we separate them. And because of that unknowingness, people are creating these different workarounds on YouTube. And I think bringing that all back to now shorts, imagine being a channel like us that creates generally 10 to 15 minute videos, now putting a bunch of, not just to mention that they're vertical, which we would never, ever, ever put on the channel, but putting a bunch of 60-second clips on where the watch time is 60 seconds. How is that going to affect our 15-minute videos?
Right. The answer probably is just separate shorts channel. I mean, we've seen that. Yeah. It's now you have a dedicated audience that is there for shorts, and they will watch in consistent watch time short videos. And if you do that on your separate shorts channel, great.
I would consider that a fail for YouTube's marketing, in the sense that they're hoping big creators bring this to their main audience, where the minute you switch it to another audience, you're going to lose a giant portion of your already subscribers. Because if they miss the announcement to like check out the shorts channel, they're never going to see it. Yeah. So now, like, as YouTube, they've lost already, if that's what's happening.
And so it seems like their fail-safe to that is to try to dump as many people into shorts as possible. Oh, I mean, yeah.
How though? But that's a thing. We were talking about shorts yesterday with Tim.
Yeah.
I tried to look at shorts on my desktop and I literally couldn't find it.
Oh, you won't find it on the desktop, but you will find it on your phone, which is where they're competing with TikTok. I mean, yes, you can watch TikTok on your desktop.
Be on desktop.
It's there and you can find it, but it's the same way TikTok on desktop, that's a tongue twister, exists, but you don't really care about it. If they're competing with TikTok, which is really what Shorts is and really what Reels is, you can watch it on the desktop, but it's all about that endless scroll on the smartphone, and they've built that in, and then they put the button right at the bottom of the app where it used to be the Explore page, or I think it's next to it now.
Oh, okay.
So now their goal is to just dump as many people organically into Shorts as possible. Same way, Instagram did where they replaced the add post button, put it up at the corner, and put shop there. Same behavior. Let's just dump people in and put it in the place where they're familiar and they're going to see it over and over and they're eventually going to click it. So Instagram, a little weird moving around button placement like that, but that's basically what YouTube did. Get in there, get in Shorts, find stuff you're into, and then you'll be a Shorts viewer from here on out.
I'm sure YouTube could figure out a way to put that on desktop. They're one of the social media apps that probably gets the closest to equal mobile and desktop usage. Like
Depends.
Instagram obviously is so far mobile. TikTok is even further mobile. I would argue Facebook now is mostly mobile, despite it originating on desktop. But like if we're talking about YouTube, I think they have probably more mobile users, but I bet that's much closer.
I would push back just a little because I think it is oddly very specific to what type of content it is. And I think because literally Shorts is required to be vertical.
Which is terrible.
Yeah. So but that's because they want it to fit as the same TikTok thing. Like you can do a horizontal TikTok, but it just looks ridiculous in the app. They want it to be the TikTok experience. And so they've built everything around it being just like TikTok, but on YouTube, and then they're trying to bring creators in with the creator fund and with
I think that's rules. Where I was trying to go with the fact that there is a higher average people that use YouTube on desktop because it was originally built on desktop. It became mobile, and even when you're using mobile, you're almost turning to landscape. Whereas TikTok works well because it's only supposed to be on a phone. Reels worked okay because Instagram is still a vertical scrolling mobile app. Mm-hmm. YouTube is not quite that. It was developed into that. It's becoming good at it, but it still always has its heart and soul in the desktop version of it.
Yeah.
And that's why this feature just feels a little off.
I think if they wanted to feel less off, they would have made it a separate app, like a YouTube Shorts app, so that you open it and you go vertical, just like IGTV.
Yeah.
It worked bad because nobody's opening that app. So they have to build it into YouTube.
I just don't know how.
Yeah. It's going to have to feel a little off because it's different from the rest of YouTube. But that's why TikTok took off.
They should have just made a Clubhouse competitor. It makes so much more sense.
I guarantee that's happening. I guarantee it.
Do you think, though, because their whole shtick is video and Clubhouse's whole shtick is not video?
If YouTube did a Clubhouse competitor, it would probably have the little waveform video playing while you talked or something. It would look like one of those, how Twitter did audio tweets?
Yeah.
Where you can talk and it'll just make an animation for you talking. They'll probably do that.
I think there's a Clubhouse competitor where you upload your Bitmoji and that talks as it.
Is that real?
I believe so. I forget what it's called. I could figure it out. I think it's called Stereo, actually.
Please.
I think it's actually kind of an interesting idea. Just adds one more step of personalization where you still get to have that I'm talking to a group of people, but I don't have to get ready or develop a set or anything like that. And it adds one more step of personal experience. I don't think it's a bad idea. I just don't think it's going to compete with Clubhouse. That's not the one feature that's going to make everyone move.
Does it require, my core question is, does it require you to have your phone facing your face so that it uses the animation face tracking stuff?
Wait, before I answer that. Well, I don't know the answer to that question, if I'm being honest, but do you want it to have that or not? Okay.
No.
I would assume just because I believe it's available on Android that it does not do that it's probably just I hear a waveform, I make the mouth move.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Interesting.
I don't know. I've never used it. I've only heard about it.
Yeah.